strange. Annie Guthrie, we don't think is staying there anymore, or her husband.
What you're about to hear feels ripped straight out of a dark streaming thriller, except none of this was written by Hollywood. It's chaotic. It's disturbing. And the internet cannot stop spiraling over it. Savannah Guthrie's own sister accused of abducting their mother. Yeah, that story exploded online like pure gasoline. Phones lit up instantly. Family group chats went silent. And in one brutal moment, the image of America's untouchable perfect family completely shattered. How does an ordinary evening suddenly end with police sirens outside the house? How does a simple family visit transform into an arrest scene? And why did detectives end up focusing on the daughter nobody expected?
All right, so I'm leaving Annie Guthrie's house now. If you look at my previous videos, there were 3 sheriff's deputies there.
41 minutes. That's the number people can't stop obsessing over. 41 missing minutes inside the home of an 84-year-old woman right before she disappeared without a trace. A random gap in time, or the one clue investigators believe blows this entire case apart. Because this is where the story takes a disturbing turn.
In with like evidence equipment, and they were taking photos inside the house, and we know for sure that they were taking photos because we could see flashes through the window.
Detectives now believe whoever did this knew exactly what they were doing. Deliberate, calculated, cold. And one name keeps surfacing at the center of the chaos. Annie Guthrie. So brace yourself, because tonight we are unpacking the arrest, the timeline, the rumors, and the shocking evidence that transformed a private family nightmare into a nationwide obsession. And believe me, things only become more twisted after this. They entered carrying forensic gear, photographing nearly every inch of the property. Neighbors said camera flashes kept bursting through the windows for hours. But the first thing people started asking wasn't who was responsible. It was how the situation spiraled this badly in the first place. Because only days earlier, the Guthrie family stood together before cameras begging the public for help. Savannah Guthrie, polished and perfectly controlled, asking viewers to pray. Cameron beside her in silence. And Annie strangely composed, almost emotionless according to some watching closely. Now suddenly, Annie Guthrie is sitting in custody. Officials still haven't revealed everything they know, but honestly, they barely need to. The image alone is explosive. Sheriff Chris Nanos confirmed late last night that Annie was detained after investigators uncovered what he called several newly uncovered contradictions.
When I got here, there were 3 deputies that had just arrived. They have private security here. NBC hired private security.
Inconsistencies. There's that word again. The exact same word investigators have used right before massive cases completely unraveled in public. So what suddenly changed? To understand that, we have to go back to the night Nancy Guthrie vanished. According to the original timeline, she spent the evening at Annie's house. Nothing unusual. Nothing alarming. Just another quiet family gathering. Detectives say Nancy arrived shortly before sunset. Dinner was served. Board games came out. People laughed. Everything looked painfully normal on the surface.
The blinds, I could see them taking pictures. Yeah, there you go, right? That's some of the stuff they brought out. I could see them taking pictures in the garage.
Tommaso Chione, Annie's husband, was supposedly the one who drove Nancy home later that night.
Is 41 minutes.
Surveillance records show the garage door opening at exactly 9:48 p.m. 2 minutes later, it shut again at 9:50. Digital timestamps are supposed to tell the truth. Unless somebody already knew how to manipulate the story. Because this is where the entire case starts feeling terrifying. At 1:47 a.m., Nancy's front door camera suddenly went offline. Not a malfunction. Not dead batteries. Investigators say someone physically interfered with it. Then at 2:28 a.m., her pacemaker monitoring app disconnected from her phone entirely.
Is
41 minutes. 41 unexplained minutes inside that house. Now anonymous law enforcement sources claim detectives uncovered something during the second search of Annie's property.
41 minutes.
Something officials still refuse to publicly identify, but according to one insider, that discovery completely redirected the investigation overnight. Completely redirected it. Think about how serious that sounds. This wasn't some routine neighborhood canvass anymore.
Timeline that they gave us yesterday. 9:48 p.m. Nancy's garage door opened. We believe that's the family. We believe it was Tomas dropping.
Meanwhile, FBI Director Kash Patel stepped before reporters and described the case as active and rapidly evolving. He refused to confirm whether Annie's arrest was connected to the mysterious 41-minute gap, but he never denied it either. And sometimes silence says more than a confession ever could. Online, the public has completely divided into two vicious camps. One side believes Annie is being buried by circumstantial evidence and public hysteria. The other believes her calm demeanor concealed something far more disturbing beneath the surface. Because here's the reality nobody wants to admit. The moment the last known person to see someone alive becomes central to the investigation, everything changes
41
instantly.
minutes.
Dinner. 41 minutes. The drop-off. 41 more. Now an arrest. Coincidence, or the first fracture in a story that was never clean to begin with? Because if this wasn't random, if this came from inside the family, if there never was a masked intruder at all, then the entire narrative surrounding that night is about to collapse in
Wrong, because the sheriff keeps changing his story on that. He told the New York Times it was Tomas, then he changed it at the presser to, we're going to go with
spectacular fashion. And investigators, they are only scratching the surface. One analyst even warned people were becoming too fixated on ransom theories while ignoring more uncomfortable possibilities hiding underneath. And just when the arrest already felt explosive, the leaks started pouring out. Not polished press conferences. Not official statements. Leaks. A source of—
If you go from 1:47 a.m., which is when the doorbell cam got disconnected, to 2:28 a.m., which is when her
allegedly close to investigators told TMZ detectives uncovered what they described as a possible financial motive investigators could not overlook. Those words detonated online instantly. Financial motive. Suddenly people stopped obsessing only over timelines and started following the money instead. Nancy Guthrie wasn't simply an elderly mother. Reports claim she controlled major assets, properties, investments, and a family trust that had supposedly been updated shortly before she disappeared. Updated how? That's where everything starts feeling dangerous. Anonymous insiders claimed adjustments to the trust occurred only weeks before the disappearance. And now everyone keeps asking the same question. Who benefits? Then things became even uglier. An alleged internal memo, spreading online, but never officially verified,
we're putting so much attention, everybody is looking at ransom, that it's easy to overlook the other possible.
Claimed investigators reviewed several large financial transfers involving accounts linked to Annie and a business associated with Tommaso Chione. Coincidence? Routine business? Or something much more deliberate? Now Tommaso's past financial activity is under intense scrutiny. Expensive renovations. Luxury cars. Designer shopping sprees. Overseas vacations splashed across social media. None of that is illegal, obviously. But inside a kidnapping investigation, perception becomes lethal. One neighbor reportedly described the couple as extremely image conscious. Image conscious. An online reaction. Absolutely brutal. Hashtags trend every hour while comment sections resemble digital war zones. Some people label Annie a manipulative mastermind. Others accuse authorities of turning a grieving daughter into a public spectacle for headlines.
A clearly successful abduction. If it is a kidnapping, it's poorly undertaken.
And attention. Then another twist exploded across social media. A supposed former acquaintance of the family claimed there had been private arguments over caregiving duties and financial control long before Nancy vanished. Unverified, yes. But public opinion moves faster than facts ever do. Then came the rumors surrounding evidence allegedly discovered inside a seized vehicle. According to one viral blog, forensic teams found traces of soil inconsistent with either Nance's property or Annie's residence. Desert soil. Different minerals. Different origin. Investigators still haven't confirmed the claim, but they also haven't shut it down either. And if those reports are accurate, the story suddenly stretches far beyond one quiet neighborhood home. It becomes movement. Preparation.
I hate to say it, it could be one of those, but certainly his abduction kit he has in the back. Handcuffs, electrical ties,
Intent. Director Kash Patel later added another cryptic statement, saying digital evidence rarely exists alone. Think about what that means in 2026. Phone data. Smart home logs. GPS tracking. Deleted messages. Encrypted chats. Nobody moves through modern life without leaving fingerprints behind in the digital world. Online sleuths even began dissecting Annie's earliest television appearances. She looked rehearsed, one viral commentator claimed. Too calm. But composure doesn't equal guilt, just like panic doesn't prove innocence. Still, the timing, the financial rumors, the unexplained 41 minutes, the soil allegations, together they form a storm impossible to ignore. And hanging over everything is one terrifying question. Was this desperation, or design? Because if investigators truly uncovered motive tied to profit, then this scandal stops being only about a missing mother. It becomes about power. And power, when threatened, can push people toward unimaginable decisions. Now the fallout is spreading everywhere because arrests don't merely shake families apart. They destroy reputations permanently. Within hours of Annie Guthrie being taken into custody, legal and
something happened here just a few minutes ago. We received an email at TMZ from somebody.
Journalists were already debating which charges prosecutors might pursue. Kidnapping. Conspiracy. Obstruction. Officials still haven't revealed their entire case, but sources claim a grand jury may already be reviewing sealed evidence. Sealed. Even hearing that word sends chills through people following this story. Sheriff Chris Nanos appeared before reporters this morning looking restrained and extremely cautious. He confirmed the arrest resulted from cumulative findings, and emphasized repeatedly that investigators were nowhere near finished. Far from finished. Which many interpreted as a warning that more arrests could follow. Tommaso Chione has not been charged, but he also hasn't escaped scrutiny. Paparazzi photographed him leaving a law office late last night.
Everybody, I wanted to come on and just share a few thoughts as we enter into another week of this nightmare.
Last night, without saying a single word. His attorney released only one carefully crafted sentence: "We are confident the truth will prevail." Confident. Translation. This situation is about to become uglier than anyone expected. Meanwhile, financial institutions connected to the Guthrie family have reportedly launched internal compliance reviews. Not because wrongdoing has been proven, but because major investigations trigger alarms automatically. And once banks start examining accounts, panic usually follows. Then the political angle arrived. Caroline Leavitt was asked whether Donald Trump had been briefed on the case. Her response: "The administration is aware of the situation." Aware. Not involved. Not commenting. Just aware. Behind the scenes, insiders claim Director Kash Patel and federal investigators are aggressively digging through digital forensics that could either destroy the prosecution's theory completely or cement it forever. phone geolocation records, encrypted messaging apps, vehicle telemetry. In today's world, investigators don't always need eyewitnesses if the technology tells the story for them. And if that data points toward premeditation, then everything changes overnight. Public reaction has now reached absolute chaos. Protesters have gathered outside the Guthrie residence. Some demand justice for Nancy. Others hold signs insisting Annie is innocent until proven guilty. The divide is vicious. One viral commentator described it perfectly: this isn't just a crime investigation anymore. It's a family collapse unfolding live in front of the entire country. Because if Annie is ultimately convicted, the destruction won't stop with prison. Trusts could freeze. Assets could be challenged. Relatives could turn against each other. Civil lawsuits would follow criminal proceedings like shadows following light. And here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. If this wasn't random, if this truly came from inside the family, then the masked intruder story transforms into something entirely different. A distraction. A performance. A carefully staged illusion. But right now, that remains speculation. And speculation can destroy lives before facts ever arrive. Still, those 41 minutes continue haunting everyone following this case. 41 silent minutes inside a quiet house. 41 minutes that could determine whether this becomes a tragic misunderstanding or one of the most shocking family betrayals in years. The investigation is tightening. The silence around key details is shrinking. And somewhere, someone already knows exactly what happened that night. The only question left is this: when the truth finally surfaces, who will still be standing afterward? So here we are now. One arrest. A shattered timeline. Financial rumors.
41 minutes.
Digital footprints.
40.
And 41 minutes nobody can explain away. Was this a desperate act hidden beneath the illusion of a perfect family? Or are we watching public perception spiral completely out of control before investigators reveal the full picture? Because let's face it, modern headlines move faster than truth itself. One leak can destroy a reputation forever. One arrest can split public opinion instantly. Do you believe Annie Guthrie is hiding something cold and calculated? Or do you think she became the easiest target in a case still drowning in unanswered questions? Drop your thoughts below, because every theory surrounding this story feels more unsettling than the last.
40.
What detail stands out most to you? The money? The timeline? The digital evidence? Or the terrifying reality that nobody truly knows what happened inside that house? Because this case is changing by the hour, and you already know we'll be following every twist, every leak, every courtroom move the second new information drops. If you made it this far, hit the like button so more people see this breakdown. Subscribe if you want updates without the polished primetime filter. And turn notifications on because the next revelation could flip this entire story upside down overnight. Stay sharp.